I feel sorry in advance because I'm French, and so I gotta speak English. And sorry for the translator as well, because you gotta translate back to French. So I'm Paul Adrien, CEO and co-founder of Zéro-Gâchis, which means zero waste in English. I graduated in a French engineering school in computer sciences, and I tried to spend a year in applied mathematics courses at a university, but it was too much work and I didn't have any spare time, so I quit. And I also coached some startups. So my talk is more about the entrepreneurship and how collective intelligence led to build an AI solutions to fight food waste. So my company, Zéro-Gâchis, invents solutions which are simple and accessible to fight food waste. We are based in France. We are 46 collaborators. And when I started the company, I think it was born out of the sickness that I feel when I see food be thrown away in the garbage and while millions of people are in need. And that's why I started this company 7 years ago. So if we look at the figures of the food waste, every year in the world, 1.3 billion tons of food are wasted every year. It represents more than 750 billion dollars. And only for the retail sector, which we are helping, it's 65 million tons a year. And if we look at those figures in another angle, 1/3 of all the production is wasted, while 800 million people are in need. So that's quite a difficult figures to see. And that's why we decided to take engagement and actions to help reduce food waste. Retailers, they do business buying bulk loads of products and trying to resell them at a higher price. But unfortunately, they don't succeed every time. 1.5% of their annual turnover is wasted every year. Hopefully, they have ways to reduce food waste called revalorization channels. The first is to mark down the products approaching their sell-by date, like 50% off. The second is to make a donation for charities. The third is to sell surprise bags, also called boxes, where consumers can have a lot of products for a cheaper price. And finally, they can make a donation for animal feeding. And when we take a look at the figures with the volume approach, we see that 60% of the products are marked down, while 30% are either for donation or either in surprise bags, and 10% are for animal feeding. And now we can have a look on value approach. These figures are meant for France because when you make a donation, you have tax credit, and all the tax credit policy of every country is different. So we see that when we go deeper in those channels, the supermarket lose value. So for a supermarket, it's really, really difficult to find the right balance between the volume and the value of the products that I want to avoid from waste. But let's turn this into a simple assumptions. Food waste reduction is measured by the revalorization over food waste rate. So we have the revalorization and the global unsold food, which can enter in the channels I said. And to be simple today, I will just sum up with the two main channels. The first is the markdown sales. The second one is the donation. So mathematically, if we increase the markdown sales, the rate grows. If we increase the donations, the rate grows as well. And if we decrease the global unsold food amount, the rate grows as well, which let us play with three variables: the markdown sales, the food donation, and the global unsold food. This is the journey of our company, and I won't explain everything. I will explain some stuff. But you can see that during the years, we just tried to improve on one of these three variables, The first 2 years, we were focusing on highlighting the markdown products for the consumers to be able to locate them and buy them, to increase markdown sales. Then we found out that the supermarkets didn't have enough time to actually mark down products because they have a lot of things to do and food waste is the last priority. So we decided to invent a smart labeling solution. So the employees of the supermarkets, when they have a product approaching its sell-by date, they just have to scan it through an app embedded in a barcode reader. And automatically, it prints a new label with all the price information and a new barcode to track the sales. Then we started to analyze data because we have all the data of the global unsold food, and so we can give them back to the supermarkets so they can improve their restock policy and restock management. After, we make a partnership with another startup, which was the leader in the food donation organization in the supermarkets. So they help supermarkets to reduce food waste thanks to a better organization around the donation. And the year after, when we went back to the supermarkets, we saw a lot of food being thrown in the garbage without having been donated and without even have been marked down. So we decided to discuss a lot with the supermarkets to understand why is that possible. And we find out that supermarkets are not so innovative in their way to do the day job. For example, every morning in every supermarket, people need to check one by one every product with their eyes to see if the product is approaching its sell-by date. And that's quite complicated, so we decided to invent a solution to guide them through the aisle and through the shelves to detect the products approaching their sell-by date before they reach their sell-by date, so they can enter in the channels. Last year, we invented a plugin to facilitate the donation, and in this year, we wanted to run a study, a bigger study, to understand what can we do better and how we can improve the food waste management in the supermarkets. We first studied how much is saved, and we saw that 1/3 of the products are given to the donation, while 2/3 are marked down pricing. But there is 24% of that products that remains wasted. So we decided to look deeper in that direction. And we developed a feature so supermarkets can donate a product that has been marked down priced before without lacking the traceability. But we saw that only 11.1% of the products were actually sent to the final channels, which was only 11.1%. That's, in fact, the teams didn't use it or didn't have time to use it. But we decided to go deeper and to understand how our services are used, because every month we did some meetings with the supermarket teams to tell them how they can do better, how they can improve themselves, rather it's to change the channels repartition. If we know that the diaries is resold at 70% of the time, maybe it's better to just mark down 7 products out of 10 and to directly donate the 3 other. And so every month, for every supermarket we work with, we did meetings, and we saw that after that meetings, only 11.3% of our advices were listened and were executed. So regarding to that, we decided to run another study and to take all the decision, to look at all the decisions the supermarkets have done every single day for every single product. And we run some tests with some algorithm to try to improve the decision process and to save more products. And we realized that we could improve by 9% the amount of food being donated in the same parameters, and by 13% the potential median gain on markdown sales. So supermarkets can actually make more money and reduce waste, but they don't do it. And why do they don't do it? We decided to use a design sprint method to go back and analyze and improve ourselves and themselves. So first, we take a look at all the reports we were giving them, this one, this one, this one, this one as well. And we discussed with the supermarkets to know how they are using in the day-to-day life of the supermarkets. Who is using it? How is using it? Why? What is good? What is useless? What could be improved? And when we came back to the office, we brainstormed a bit, and we decided to map the whole decision process of a supermarket, because someone told us that our reports were sent after they actually had to make the decision. And this is the most important thing that's the mapping of the decision process. This is the most important insight that we get, is that they needed us when they had to take a decision, and not after the decision was taken, just to tell that it wasn't good enough, or you could have done better, or here is how you can change everything. And in the supermarket industry, they have a lot of work to do, and when we came back every month to tell them, change things, change that, every month for maybe a couple of years, they didn't have any time to listen to us. So that's led us to innovate, and maybe these are some example of the questions they are struggling with when they decide what to do with their products. Do I need to mark down it? Will it be sold? What is the optimal discount rate? Is there a charity coming today? What's their capacity? Are they coming with a truck or with a couple of box storage, cold box storage? So it was quite complicated, and you can also, on top of that, add the price, the margin of each product, the weather forecast. Are we a Monday or a Friday? So it depends. It changes a lot of the resale ratio. So all these parameters couldn't have been taken by a human because they didn't have time to do it, and because they don't have everything in mind every day. So we decided to build an artificial intelligence solution to improve our impact at scale. You have to know that every supermarket is unique in his parameters, but also in his values and everything. And so if we want to have a deep impact in food waste, we have to think global and scalable, and only AI solutions could do that. And now I will just explain you how we managed to build this solution, because the thematic is the collective intelligence as well. And we actually did build this product with the help of the supermarkets, because they have a lot of experience in computer sciences, in predicting the resale, in predicting the behavior of the consumers and everything. So first, we managed to build a small deck to present them the benefits of this solution, to tease them. They can increase their autonomy, they can increase, of course, their turnover, they can increase their productivity, and they can decrease the food waste. And when we talked about this project to our partner supermarkets, they were so eager to help us that they actually helped us a lot. During, for example, UX meeting, so they prototyped the application with their teams, with some prototyping example, to be able to have the better and the best experience ever for the employees of the supermarkets. And we also met with directors who gave us like data insight about which data is really impactful in this type of algorithm. And we finally came out with this simple sheet, which explains employee side what it's like to use our solution. So first, I just have to scan a product, and then it will tell me what to do, what products, what number of products to mark down, at what price, and what to donate. And when the employee validates the choice, automatically the label are printing, so they can stick every product, and the other products are given to donation in a specific trolley. Algorithm side, of course, machine learning. We take account of parameters for every supermarket, and when the algorithm give a decision, and after the month after, we take back data from the supermarkets, like resale data, donation data, and a lot of data, to improve the algorithm. So that's the journey of the invention of that algorithm. It's a work in progress. Today, the results are pretty cool, but not cool enough to me. We achieved 3.88% of increase of the food donation and the markdown sales. And I wanted just to, on the last 5 minutes, talk about how we did it, because we are using the OKR framework within the company. I don't know if you know what is OKR framework. Do you know? Don't you know? OK. It's a framework that has been invented in the 50s, but democratized in the 70s by a guy called Andy Grove, which was the CEO of Intel. OKR means O for objectives, and KR for K results. So it's a collaborative goal-setting protocol. So you can empower all your teams, all your collaborators, to drive the innovation, the focus on a small project, to align every team to work together. So you set yearly OKR for the company, and then every quarter, the whole company is, during a seminar, brainstorming and asking themselves how we can do, what can we do this quarter to nourish the yearly OKR. And basically, when I came with the Epsilon, so that's the name of the algorithm, the Epsilon roadmap, it was a 3-year span roadmap. And when I presented to our quarterly OKR meetings, I asked the whole company to challenge this roadmap. How can we do better? How can we do faster? How can we deploy this solution at a high scale, at a high range? And my sales representative told me that they can ask questions to our clients whenever it was to help the product team or help the researcher team. The technicians who are in charge of deploying our solutions physically in the stores, because we have materials, printers, and barcode and everything, barcode readers, they came out with a solution to deploy a shop with this algorithm without having to go inside the shop physically. Researcher told us that, yeah, 3-year roadmap is pretty cool because we have a lot of parameters to take account of, but we can do simpler and we can do faster. So we can build first prototype, a small algorithm, and we can try it in store. The product team with the product management and UX design built a first solution which was so ugly. So everyone in the company, including the CFO, the HR representative, my VP of sales, even me, we just spend weeks and weeks in the supermarkets trying by ourselves our algorithm with a really poor experience. But finally, we are 9 months later, and we launched this product. So with the collaborative intelligence of the whole company and, of course, of our client, we succeed in shrinking the timeline, the roadmap, to only 9 months from a 3-year span. And I think it was a good example to how we can build AI products using the collective intelligence. Thank you.